Hello, hello. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to Passionate About Scrapbooking and today's story and sketch live with Pamela, usually on Wednesday, but today it's on Thursday. I'm Pamela with Passionate About Scrapbooking, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the Texas Hill Country in Fredericksburg, Texas. Let me pull up my comments. Say hello if you're joining me. Let me know that you're here. Would love a thumbs up, a subscribe, a follow. If you have enjoyed what you've been seeing through me. Good morning, Debbie. How are you? Feel like it's been a crazy week with recuperating from our trip. I think I was more tired than I thought I was. And then the rains overnight have been keeping me awake, so I'm not sleeping very good this week. And plus, I had tummy problems last night, digestive issues keeping me awake too. It's like, ugh, again, this perimenopause, I'm done with it. Good morning, Flo. Thanks for joining me. Hello, Jennifer. All right. I have most everything prepared. We're going to do a little bit of stamping and dry embossing, maybe even some coloring. We'll see. I played around yesterday with creating my card that I'm going to post later today. Y'all get a sneak peek of it. I was doing a little series for a little while or a couple of times. Now I can't think of what the name of it was. It was for Thursday. It'll pop into my head here in a minute. I think I still have some brain fog from not sleeping too well. But I created this card right here for the Stamping Up Creative Challenge. This month's Creative Challenge is using some of our 2025, 2027 in colors with our classic colors. So this one features Timid Tiger and a little bit of strawberry slush is in the flowers. And then I combined that with, and you'll see this pattern paper is strawberry slush too. I combined it with berry burst and old olive. There's even a little bit of petal pink, and I think that's supposed to be daffodil delight in this collection. So lots of pretty colors together. And where I saw a scrapbook page that inspired my card, and then now my card is going to inspire my scrapbook page that I'm making. So that's the plan. All right, let me get situated, and let me also, I'm gonna wet my chamois real quick. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. It's just barely damp. Man, I've been on the struggle bus this week, trying to get back in my routine. So at the moment, I don't think we have anything else particular scheduled for the summer. So maybe things will smooth out next week. That's what I'm hoping. All right, so there's my card. It's kind of inspired. This one, I just fussy cut out drinks and fruit from some of the paper. But we're going to actually do stamping and I think coloring today. So I got a few new stamping blends in yesterday. My strawberry slush. I also got um, the new cloud cover and secret sea in. Don't think I'll use those today, but I probably could use some of the old olive. And I don't have the Timid Tiger ink pad, I don't think. Or I have the ink pad, but not the stamping blends. But I do have the Berry Burst. So we'll see what we can create with that, some coloring. And primarily I'm just thinking of some of the fruit in here. So I may have to improvise and figure out, maybe bring in my blending pen or something to color in an orange. All right, so I'm going to set those aside. I've got my embossing folders. On Monday, we used this one. This is in the bundle, the suite. So the Celebratory Suite is the paper, the bundle that has the stamps and dies. It has the embossing folders, plus this pretty ribbon and the holographic, let me see what they're called, holographic resin dots. So there's the ribbon there too. So as a reminder, we have our Suite collection plus products special going on. Buy one, get one 50% off. So if you bought the entire suite, then you could choose another suite and get it 50% off. Whichever suite is the lesser amount is the one you get 50% off. You can also just do like the bundle that's in the suite. So if you like this one, you can buy this one and then grab another one from another suite collection to get one or the other 50% off. You can also do like the bundle and the folders. So I'm guessing the bundle would be the most expensive. This one would be the least. So you get 50% off this. So you can mix and match, but you'll only, just a little tip, when you place your order, you can only get 2 items. So either 2 suites, or if you throw in a ribbon that's in a suite, it's going to do 50% off the ribbon and not because that's the lowest priced item. So if you have questions or need help placing your order, let me know. And we use this one on Monday, so I'm not going to use it today. I'm going to try to incorporate this one in today with our suite here, or our bundle. And before we jump in, I'm going to share my pages from well, it was actually Tuesday, but it was Make It Monday. So these are the pages we created on Tuesday for Make It Monday. If you haven't been following me this week, I'm totally off schedule, but I'm still doing my Make It Monday, my story and sketch, which I usually do on Wednesday. And then tomorrow we'll do the Feel Good Friday. And you can see that embossing folder here. We did the Blackberry Bliss with Old Olive primarily. We did some watercoloring to create these glasses of wine using Blackberry Bliss and Blueberry Bushel. That was fun. I did a little heat embossing for the ice in the cup up here. Now, I don't normally put ice in my wine, so this could be what, any type of drink, I guess, a fruity drink or something. But my page was focusing on our wine tasting at one of the new wineries that we went to. I don't know that the winery is actually new. I think they said it'd been around 5 or 6 years, but it was new to us, so we went and visited there. And today I'm going to scrapbook about mimosas that we had while we were on the beach a couple of years ago, staying at a beach house in Crystal Beach. I've scrapbooked a little bit about Crystal Beach already. I have tons and tons of photos because we were there for 5 days in a beach house. You can see some of the beach houses right here. The beach was actually just quarter mile down the road, I think. All right, and I'm also bringing in today this fancy border bundle. So it has some really neat sentiments in here, but I'm just going to use the dies, and I'm going to use this one right here. So this would be fabulous for cards. I mean, that's really probably what it was made for, but we can figure out how to use some of these in our scrapbooking as well. So I'm especially going to use this one right here. And I was looking for like a scallop border, just a regular scallop border, but I didn't find one, and I don't have one. A punch would be awesome, but I don't think they have a punch either. So normally I would probably use my Cricut to do it, but I wanted to stick with my Stampin' Up product. So I'll show you how to use that for scrapbooking. And I'm going to move my card out of the way. Just be my little inspiration sitting over here so I can see it. And I have my packet of embellishments that were in my Scrap and Create kit. So let's see, I think I have one sitting here. So you can see what all comes in the Scrap and Create kit this week. There's your pack of embellishments. You'll get the designer series paper cut down in 6x6 so that you can have a bit of all the paper front and back. I could have kept it 12 by or 6x12, but I wanted to also show you ways of how to use 6x6 paper. There is some watercolor paper in here that was for our project on Monday, or Make It Monday Live. Then there are these are our colors that we're working with this week. Got Blackberry Bliss, Old Olive, Strawberry Slush, and Berry Burst. Then you have your White Willow cardstock. There'll also be a sheet, at least one sheet of basic basic white in here. And then you'll get your Timid Tiger two-toned cardstock for our page today. And you can get your hands on these a couple of ways. There are, when you place a $50 order during the week, so now through Sunday, you will get that for free shipped to you. So $50 plus before tax and shipping, and I'll mail that to you for free as my gift. And you'll get a PDF in the next week or two with that. Then, and it'll be next week before I even get started on shipping them out, just FYI. Then you can also just purchase it for $26 so that you can recreate my projects for the week or use those pieces for creating whatever you want. If you have questions about my Scrap and Create kit, let me know. Good morning, Ruth. I had to scroll up to see your comment, so I missed you earlier. All right, so let's get busy. I don't think there's anything else in the description. I did mention about the Scrap and Create kit, the Suite collection promo, and then don't forget about our album retreat coming July 16th through the 18th. And there are still album retreat kits available, so be sure to grab one of those and join us. They ship right away, and I'm going to start probably playing with my stamp sets. There's 4 little stamp sets that are in the album retreat that are exclusive to album retreat. and I can't wait to play with them. There's an alphabet, some numbers, lots of little icons, and I just album retreat is incredible. I mentioned on Tuesday when I was doing Make It Monday Live that it's very similar to what I do on Mondays where we make a two-page layout. So everything will be pre-cut for you and you'll learn techniques and have a community to interact with on the Facebook page. There'll be Facebook Live videos and then they will record those and share those later so that you'll have access to those for forever, basically because they'll move them over onto YouTube, I think, as private videos, I believe. And just, yeah, really highly encourage you to do it. Debbie's going to join me, and Amanda's joining me, and so excited. Good morning, Christine. Thanks for being here. So let's move some things around here and get busy on today's page. So I've got my journaling strips. I don't know if I'm going to use them all. I did them kind of like little bullet points. So I can incorporate a couple of those here in a bit. I have my title figured out. So I'm going to put that over here too, out of the way. There's my photo on the beach with our mimosas. We made those a couple of mornings while we were there. And I went out on the deck and then just enjoyed the peace and quiet in my mimosa and snapped a real quick, fun um, picture showing the view back there. I love this high wire line that's kind of got a cross up there too. Thought that was cool in the picture. So, one photo on today's page, just focusing on the memories and the peaceful morning I had on Crystal Beach. That's out close to Galveston, Texas. Okay, I've got all my pieces cut here. This we will use to stamp on and create something similar to the drink right here. So it'll probably be one of these. And I don't know if I'll incorporate just the one. Probably, like these colors don't really go with the drink, but it does go with the page. So this is the back side of that designer series paper, and this could be used just as a background if you wanted it to, but they were specifically made so that you could use these stamps right here to create your glasses, and then you will stamp on them and die cut those out, and then decorate them with some fruit. So I'll have to pull out actually, we'll probably just stamp a few things here to make our glass kind of pretty, a little more foo-foo-y than the one that I have here, is what I'm thinking. All right, so let's do that. Let's get our stamping and everything done, and then we'll bring our page all together. So I probably just want to, I have already got my piece of Timid Tiger out, so I used some of that as a mat on here, and then I have some left over for our card projects on Friday, which is tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to move this out of the way for the moment, and we're going to bring these in. Plus, I need to look in my Scrap and Create kit. And actually, I have a few. These are the pieces that I cut off the white cardstock on today's page. So maybe I can use those to stamp a few little things. And I think this was another scrap from our journaling where I can do my journaling, the basic white. Let me see what else I have in here. I have some other. There's a little bit. Let me see. I have this too. So I have a few scraps in here. All right, so let's get our stamping done using the stamps right here. We will want to have our Memento black ink or any black ink you have. And we need some blocks. This is probably a good size block. And we're going to do this one right here. I believe. I don't have, of course, I don't have one that matches that. I don't know. Let me think. I like that, but I think, you know what? I think I'm going to do this one. It'll just take up a little bit more room. I don't know if there's a way I could make a little base. I don't think so. I was kind of looking at that possibly. You could do something fun but I probably won't since I haven't thought that through. Okay, I'm going to lay my stamp. I'm going to let it, oops, not like that. It sticks kind of down. Just make sure it's kind of got its natural um, form to it so that when we go to stamp it and then we go to die cut it out, it'll cut it out good. All right, so I'm thinking I'm just going to use probably this one right here. So we could stamp it about like that, I think. I'm going to move some of this out of the way for the moment. We'll put it up here. And this one, I think we'll just set aside. We'll save that for Friday and whatever we're going to create on Friday. Now I'm going to grab, since I don't have my glass mat under here today, I didn't think about bringing it over. I'm going to make sure I have some cushion here where I get a good image, hopefully. And I'm going to place this with just a little bit of white up at the top. Okay, so just like that, and then we'll die cut that out. And I think I'm going to just do the one, and then we'll just build a little cluster and maybe just one cluster on the page. We may do some fruit or something in a couple of little areas, but right now we're going to do that. So let's grab this next, and we'll just work our way around. Let me get my chamois. All right, so how's everybody's week been? What are y'all up to this Thursday? I don't normally go live on Thursday, but as I mentioned at the beginning, it's been kind of a not chaotic necessarily, just I was extra tired from our trip getting back, and we've had storms rolling through during the middle of the night that have that's what kept me awake the night before, and then last night it just didn't feel too well. But I was like, I gotta push through and persevere to go live today. I feel good now, thank goodness. So all is well. All right, so let's see what we want to. I'm going to grab a smaller block. So I don't know, we'll either do, I would think an orange would probably be better. I wonder if I want to, you know what? We're going to use some of this instead of like coloring. Why not just, I wonder if I can fit it right here on this one. Guess I better go for this one up here. I'll just stamp it right in there, and then I don't have to worry about not having the Timid Tiger Stampin' Blends. And I might look at the other ones too. Whoops, let me grab, I just dropped that other piece that I put aside. One second, where did it go? There it is. Because we could do maybe some strawberries out of there too. And we'll do our stamping, but we just might be bypassing our coloring. Well, we'll have to do a little bit with green, I guess, because I will bring in a tiny bit, like maybe some of this. Um, there are no grapes in your mimosa, so I might just do the strawberry just for fun. And I might could even do it like on this one or even over here. Let's play around with this just a little bit and see what we can do. I'm going to do it right there. So my strawberry is strawberry slush red, and then I can color in my leaves with old olive. And what else? Grapes, olive, no. That reminds me of like a Bloody Mary, I guess. Ugh, I don't like those. I'll do some rosemary. That one's probably going to have to be stamped on this. How about well, yeah, how about I use this one that I used on Tuesday. I might do a couple, because I might can have them poking out in a couple of places. So we've got this so far. And then let me do not too many more. This one. All right. I'm gonna stamp it one more time. That one didn't stamp too hot. There we go. And if we need to cut out anything else, fussy cut out, we might do that. So I think that's all my stamping. Let me look at our words. My title is going to say cheers to, and then I have a couple of bullet points here, or strips I'm going to use. Let's celebrate to you, to us. It's your day. I don't know that I'll use any of those since I have journaling strips here. So that may be it. And then on Friday, we'll try to incorporate some of these other elements, like the umbrella. I want to show you how to use that. I am thinking I might want to do this on here too, because this is a really cool die. So die-wise, we need these. That one, this one, the strawberry, and the circle. I think that'll work. Put that away. So we'll do a little bit of die cutting. And while we do that, I'll also show you about this other die. Put this right there that I want to use on the designer series paper. And look at these others. Okay, now we didn't use that one, so I'm going to put it in my stash. I have my scraps back here all ready for Friday's projects. Those back in there too. And the paper has gone really far this time. I was able to use a lot of paper today because we didn't use very much on of the DSP on Tuesday. Remember what day I did what. All right, so we'll do that in a minute. I'll have to bring those pieces in to cut those. We got a couple of things on here I think we can cut at once. All right, so I'm going back through comments. Christine has yoga this morning, so she may have to take off. She said she made a garden journal yesterday. Fun. Debbie's unboxing photos and organizing them. Yeah, you need to go through those photos and you can pick some for the album retreat. Since we know what the pages are going to look like, Mike can even have that would be awesome to have pictures ready to go for some or all of the pages. It's super satisfying to get a whole entire album done in 3 days. I don't know if we'll get them all done, but even if it took a few days or weeks afterwards to finish them up, we'll have to challenge each other to do that to get it done because it's so awesome to have a full album, very rewarding. And it'll be like an overview for the year. The pages are January through December, so you can highlight a special time from each month in your album. So, kind of a year in review is what it'll be. All right, so there's that. And then let's see here. Flo spent 2 days babysitting the grandson. Awesome. Oh, fun. Yesterday wasn't so awesome, or the rest of the day, half the day at motor vehicles, renewing my license and getting real ID done. Oh boy, yep. Here in Texas, I guess they did it quite a while ago. Mine already has the real ID, and I didn't even have to do it or worry about it. So I did have to renew my license this past January, but it was already a real ID, and I didn't even know it. So, all right, there's that one. Let me open up and put my dies back where they go. I know, I thought it could be blackberries or grapes, but I did them as grapes. All right, and I don't need that. That way. Okay, so that's what we did on this page, and you still have all this scrap. And of course, all these you can make even more drinks out of. Could do lemonade with the yellow ones, and then just fruity drinks, sangria, doesn't have to be alcoholic. So lots of, oh, let me show you about this one. I could have done this at the same time, but I didn't think about it. So this will add the little designs to your cup. So you know those, just line it up there. I'm gonna do that right there, I guess. Let me bring this over. I probably should have colored these first, but I guess I'll color them after. So I don't have to move everything around. I think I'm just gonna cut 2 of those out and 2 of these out. There we go. I always forget I slide my other plate underneath. Just habit, I guess, just to keep it out of the way. Yeah, I pulled that out and I don't even need this die. I think this page will come together pretty quick. So watch this. Look how cute that is. It just adds some extra texture. I still got to figure out how to incorporate this. I may have to bring my machine back in once we get the page done because I'm not sure how I'm going to do that one yet. So we'll color that in a minute. Have one too many pieces of Post-it tape. And we'll do this one down here. So I'm working on a graphic I'll include with the in my Instagram, Facebook post when I share the completed pages um, for the color combo. I think I'm going to try to do each week. I'd done it once or twice before, or maybe I did it once. I don't remember what for exactly. It's been a while, but like a 4 color combo graphic. It'll be fun just to have to maybe do other projects. And I'll share that in the post. What did I say? Color Crush Combo is what I'm gonna name it. All right, think I'm done with that. So got all those. And now let me show you these pieces I want to cut with that border right here. So we'll do, you know what? We could probably do both at the same time. So I'm going to line them up because this is just designer series paper. And I'm going to put it like right down here, centered. Hold it on there so it doesn't go anywhere, hopefully. And it's just going to cut a pretty border. It'll be somewhat subtle, but you see your border right there. And you've got your scraps here. You could probably save those and even use those somewhere. Maybe even use the other side. Could do the, it's just kind of the reverse scallop. It's kind of got a scallop and the pinking shears going with it. All right, so I think we're done with this. And we'll bring in our page along with this. Push that up a little bit because I do need to color a few of these. And I feel like I'm missing, maybe not, I just squished them all in here maybe. So I think I got all my dies back in here. They're just in different places. And then this one I can put back. And let's grab our Old Olive stamping blends. And I'll use the light on just to fill in this. I have 2 of them. And I'm going to go over with the dark just along the veins to add a little shading. And then I think I'll use the bullet tip for that, I think. Just right down the center. Not trying to follow the veins exactly, just adding a little color in there so that you have a little bit of shading. This is the dark, so I'm going to use it, the bullet point again, and we'll just color these in a little bit too. So there you've got your strawberry. And these are, you just kind of have to go over. It's hard to stay right in the line, just to add a little color. You do kind of, since these are so skinny, have a real light touch. And I'm not staying in the lines very well, but I think it's fine. Okay. Don't know if you can tell or not about my messy coloring on these. Let's add a little rosemary since I've got some other old olive in on the page. I incorporated some of it. All right, so now I think we're just about ready to build up our page. So let's take these little pieces. We'll put all our little pieces over here while we build the card base or the scrapbook page base. All right, I'm going to move that there. We're going to put this down because I'm still straight. There are my glue dots. I am going to, this is the light side of the Timid Tiger. So I don't want to use the light side. I want it to be a little bit bolder. So let's use the dark side. And then I think I'm going to use a little bit of strawberry slush. This is the dark. I think I'll splatter the back a little bit. So I'm going to flip my Versamat over and I'm going to do it this way. I'd forgotten about this. You know, lately I've been flicking the lid and someone asked, it's probably Christine, about does it mess up the nibs? And yes, it probably does a little bit. So I was reminded that you could also do it this way with your bone folder. Let me think about where you're going to see a little bit of white all around the edge. So I think I'll do, I guess I want to be careful with my photo. And you're just going to get a little fine spray. I know it's hard to see right now. And then right down in this quadrant. A little bit more. This way you don't have such a stark. And I'll just show you the difference. So you can get a little bit darker if you do flick your nib with the lid. And it's also a little bit more, you can go in a little more accurately, I guess. Okay, so just a little bit of color. You could do a couple of colors if you wanted to. You don't always have to just stick with one. Let's put that down. Let me find my adhesive. I don't know if I did put it back where it belonged, surprisingly. My whole workspace has just been a work in progress this week. I haven't cleaned up after myself too much. I need to do that this weekend. Looking forward to a weekend that I don't think we have much going on. All right, so I think I'm gonna do it this way. Okay, now there is one thing I wanted to do. I had some scraps this piece right here I had this piece left, so I cut it down diagonally because I didn't have a piece big enough to like do a border all the way around. So I'm gonna do something like this with a little border. And I don't know that that's the exact one I wanted to do. Let me look. I probably had it kind of like that. Let me move this over. So I think I really want it over this side. So that tape on the ends will stick to this, and then we'll flip this back over and put a little bit more tape on the back of the berry burst. Okay, so it'll have two corners that have some, And you'll want to put some adhesive right down here, like that. And then now line that up that you have about a 1/2 inch going around, except for these areas right here. All right, somehow I got, oh, I guess because I moved. I'll push that back up there. There we go. All right, so there's our base. Now let me show you what we're gonna do with these pieces. There's this one, that one, and then I think these are, I'm gonna set these aside. Okay, these are 6-inch pieces. This one is like 3 inches. And I am going to cut all of these, actually. We'll figure out which way we need to do them in just 1 second. Let me pull this up. 4 inches, so I'm going to measure at 2. I want 4 inches on this side, 2 inches on this side. So like this. And this is going to show you how to stretch your paper across the page and make it look like a long strip. So we're going to do that on all of these. One of these is going to be the top with the border that we cut this way, and the other one's going to be at the bottom with the border up that way. So this one, I want to cut 2 inches right here. So we have that. And then this one we'll do up here. Again, oops, at 2 inches, we want to cut it. And then we'll have this right in here. And this piece, it was, let me see which way it goes. I think this way. This was a 2 by 6-inch piece, and then I just cut it at a diagonal, not from corner to corner, but where it had about an inch here. Little, it's probably more like 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So in the trimmer, I just tilted my paper a little bit to where like this lined up here, this one lined up at 3/4, this one lined up at 3/4 of an inch, and then I cut it. All right, so one is going to go at the top, one's going to go at the bottom. This one I need to cut at 2 inches. So 4 inches is going over here. I think it's going up here actually. And then this one is over here. And then this one will cut 2 inches right here. So that the 4-inch piece is over here and the 2-inch piece is over here. Okay. Let's see. Hello, Sharon. What die set did you use for, just a second ago, for the border? I used the fancy borders, that one right there. I got this and hadn't used it, and I was looking for a scallop, and I was like, ah, perfect to bring that in. And Jennifer's working on Father's Day cards. That's a good idea. I need to make one before Sunday. And for Jeff, okay, and we will now start putting this on. Now I need to, my photo area is going to be like right here. So I think I'm good. And then this piece, these were 3 by 6-inch pieces that are going to go right in here and down here. Another way, so this piece is going to be right in here, it's going to be just white, but then we're going to layer our picture and mats right there. So I need to decide. I'm going to start with this one right here. And we're going to come in. I know I wanted it 6, like centered right here-ish. And then I kind of have to decide. I want it about the width of that all brought in. So let me play around here for a second where it needs to be. I'm going to push that one back up. So I have about the same, about an inch, I think is what we need. An actual inch from like the white to half an inch. And again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. And then I want this to be, I'm going to gently lay it down so that if I need to move anything, I can. So let's like just put this here and line this up right there. Just going to be a guide. This one is a little bit closer, like probably more like 3/4. So let's bring this one out just a smidge. There might be a better way to do this, but I'm looking at 5.5 up here. That's about where it is. So pick this one back up again. It's still feeling like, am I? Let's bring it up just a little bit more. I'll figure it out here in a second. It doesn't have to be exact. So let's just do, I think, where's my, I'm going to use this as kind of a guide. Maybe. Okay, I think that's pretty good. About the same here. And then I think they're pretty level. All right, let me think about this. How I want, this is going to have to be layered up to about right there. Don't feel like this piece is really straight. Give me one second. This piece is next. And we just want it to be like right down there. And then we just want the bottom to be pretty much lined up. Like that, I think. And then this one's just going to go right over. So it looks like they're kind of layered over each other. So just get it far enough down. I think that's good. And then do the same thing up here. So this one, it's going to have to be like right there. I think it's straight. And then this one, oops, right about, move it. Just trying to get those edges lined up. All right, so I think that's good. Now we just need to finish this piece over here. So hopefully when I get all this down, it's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. And kind of see if you're, looks like I could bring that up just a smidge. So it would be straight. Okay. And then same thing with this one. We'll kind of do the same thing. This one's going to go on first. And it's gotta be this, I feel like something's not right here. I don't see how it's like that. This one, well, even this one looks a little different. So maybe I'm just not gonna worry about it. I don't think I can do it any other way. It's just gonna be messed up a little bit. I guess because it's so far away, I feel like it needs to be up a little bit higher. Let me think for a minute. Maybe I just need to push that up a little bit more, but we'll see. So I may maneuver that a little bit. And same thing here. Yeah, that needs to be up higher. So I'm not sure. That's got to be up here at least. So I'm going to line it up, and then we're going to play around with this a little bit. May have to bring this down a little bit more. So that really can't go any higher. So let me work on this side. It was much easier on the card. Well, I think I just left the strips long. All right, let's work on this right here. This just probably needs to come down a little extra, a little more. So it looks like that looks better. See how it's lined up better there? I may have to play around with that just a little bit too. All right, that looks more like it'll go all the way across. So let's bring this down. Am I going to be able to bring it down far enough? And I may have to, now I got to bring this down more. Good grief. It's not quite working how my card did, but I'm going to figure it out. And let's bring this down just a little bit more. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the extra space up here. We might do, this is going to be up in here like that. And I'm thinking I want to like dovetail it just for something different. So I'm going to cut in the middle there. You can use your paper trimmer if you don't think you can get a fairly straight line. And I am thinking, just a second, I may need to, I'm going to just do a strip of something right here. So I don't have to move all of this. And then since I have one done, I'm just going to use this as my template. I could cut up there, but I prefer to just do it by hand. All right, so this one's up here. This is down, oops, down here. Let's bring this in and then we'll see what, I think I'll just do a strip of something right here and right there. See, because it doesn't meet. I could bring it in a little bit more. I don't know that I want to lift all that up though. Okay, my photo is 4x6. Then this mat of Berry Burst is like 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. And then I can lay it on top of here. If you wanted to punch things out or cut out some of that, you totally could. If you're trying to conserve paper. I think I'm going to, I'm pretty even right there. I think I'm just going to go with what I was talking about. Do I want to do Berry Burst or I don't know. Let me think about this for a second, y'all. I think I'm going to move these over this way and not worry so much about it being centered. I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher, probably to about right there. All right, and we'll just kind of pull these up. See if I can get them together. I don't have to redo that. if I can pop it up. I'm not bringing up a little bit of white cardstock, but as long as it's right under there, it's not going to matter because you won't be able to see it. Okay, so this one, tuck that right under there. Okay, now I think we got it. Let me see. That looks pretty good. Okay. Ah, now I can breathe. So you could just put a little like 4x6 photo right there. Not 3x4 is what I was saying. That ended up being 3x4 exactly. All right, that's good. So you could do a little scrap of paper there, and then you know how to build it around it. Whew. Okay, now we could put this like right here. Can even put it over to the side a little bit, which I think I might do. Okay, I'm gonna pop this up. And our title's gonna go right over in here, title and journaling. And our cluster. This is just some foam tape that I have found on Amazon. If I have a big piece of something, I just like using it instead of using up all my, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna do it off center. And so I think if you did do a 4x6 photo, I mean, 3x4, sorry, 3x4, you could start this at 5.5 inches. So not completely centered. I didn't think about width-wise, even though this is 4 and this is 2. I didn't try that hard to figure that part out. Okay, so I'm going to put it about right here. All right, so now we used 6x6 papers, or 3x6, 2x6, and cut those at 4 and 2, and you made your two borders, so it makes it look like you have a long strip. Now you could totally do this with this paper if you had the full paper pack, because it is 12x12 paper, but I cut it down for my scrap and create kit to 6x6 so that I could show you how you can use your 6x6 papers to make it look and appear like you have a long, bigger paper. Okay, so I've got this, and I don't know if I have a place where I want to use it yet. I don't know if I want to put something, I don't want to really cover all that up. So let me pull in, we may not use this today. We may just have to wait till Friday's cards. But I was thinking of just doing, I might do it up here. I'm going to do cheers. I think cheers too. And then I have a couple of journaling strips that I wanted to incorporate in here. So let's see what looks best. I chose the old olive for the kind of the contrast and to bring in a little bit more of it. Let me see if I can fit. I was going to do cheers too. So I think that's going to work. I'll just line it up with that border. And then it was cheers to. I can put like the Crystal Beach journaling strip down here. That would probably be a good place for it. I'm just going to go ahead and put it down there and get my silicone mat. So place and date-ish. I just did May. And then we'll figure out where we want to put our cluster, if we want to just put it down here or up here. I'm not sure. So cheers to morning mimosas and salty pure air. There's a quiet moment just for me. The best kind of mornings start with a view like this. Now this one wouldn't be, I wanted it to kind of be cheers to. And then this one I might do down here. And another one, vacation mornings done right. So I might do it kind of like this. And then let's see where maybe my cluster will go, because there's not anything right up in here. So this might be a good place for the cluster right in here. I can take this, and if I can find my scissors, I could just cut up to the center. And then that's how you can put your orange on there. You might could put in a little bit of greenery back here, maybe just some of this poking out somewhere with the strawberry down here maybe. And I think I'm just going to do this one cluster, I think, because the flowers really fill in everything. All right, so I think that's how it's going to be. Ribbon wise, I'm not sure that I'll put it over the edge right there. I think that'll work right there. And then let's get our cheers down. Thinking about ribbon and where maybe. I think I'm going to start over here so I know that since it angles up, I know I only have this space right here to work with. Okay. Anybody have any? You could pull in a piece of vellum to emboss with. Yeah, I don't think I have any vellum. It's out right there. So if you have any ideas for my ribbon, and I might could have some coming out over here somewhere, I'm not sure. So I just need enough space to so you can see that it's two words. And maybe we'll have some poking out here like we did on Make It Monday's page. Okay. So Bevan said she was going swimming today. I probably should have asked her where she was going swimming at. If it's in a pool, great, but river-wise, I think all our rivers are up. I should probably text her. So they'll figure it out, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure she's smart enough to know not to be in the river anywhere. All right, cheers to, and I'm just going to put these right down in this strawberry slush area. And I guess I'll probably just center them. I can almost feel like I'm sitting there again. This was one of our best vacations, like ever. was the most relaxing. It was a long drive to get there from Fredericksburg because we had to go like on the other side of Houston to get around to Crystal Beach because it's kind of like on a jetty, I guess, or island. I don't know. All right, that'll work. And then this, I'm going to have to pop up a little bit. Guess I'll just right now I have, and I'll figure out where to put all these little pieces. So I could put, that'll hold that orange in place. I'm just going to zigzag it down here, I guess. Actually, I just realized if I have it over top here, I really don't need that one there, so I will have to glue it down. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue before I take that dimensional off. So tilt it a little bit, so I'll probably need that one off there too. So about right in there. And I forgot to take the backings off. There we go. Then I'll stick that one right there. Maybe. Okay, that'll go there. I'd have a lot coming out. I think that adds to it. And we'll put the rest of these down toward the bottom, maybe over here. And then we'll have kind of a two little clusters that make this appear a little bit bigger. And they'll be kind of like on opposite ends. So most of that's probably going to be like right up under here. We'll do it like kind of like that, I think. And then my strawberry can go right there. We'll put one little dimensional. So kind of like that. And then I think I still have to put it toward the bottom. And I think I can just sneak it in here like that. So it's getting kind of close to the, might even stick another dimensional up under here. There. So it kind of ties all of this in together. And then ribbon. We want to bring in just a touch of ribbon. I think it'll be pretty. And we've got all our holographic dots to add a little sparkle and bling. And I think I'm going to keep it pretty simple, just like that. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of other things we could do. I still didn't think of anything, unless you had like a strip of white, maybe. That would be kind of cool. Okay, I might do that. All right, and I'm just thinking doing that same kind of V. Sometimes it's hard to incorporate ribbon onto scrapbook pages. So like I could just either over here somewhere poking out. That may be it. That's all I do. With a little bit of bling. And you know what? I think I am going to do to bring in a little bit more texture, just maybe like maybe a 3/4 inch strip that'll go here, here, and then I'll tuck it up under here too. Just of white, I think will work. I think it'll be pretty. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Let me get that in here. Just like to put a little bit of adhesive right down the center, and that'll kind of, when I bend it over like that, it'll kind of keep it together. And then you'll need a glue dot to just tuck it up under here, right in there. I think that'll work. And then let's do, this is 6 inches, so I think that's going to work perfect. If I use, I think I can do one piece like this. Instead of moving everything, let's see here. I'll just move it anyways. Move it over here. I'll show this to you real quick. This will be, I think that's what it needs. So I'll just put this inside here and I'll line it up. I'm going to put it toward this end so that all of it is embossed. Then I need, these are not 3D plates, so I need my number 1, my number 3, my embossing folder, and then another number 3 plate. So I only removed my number 2 plate. I think this is going to finish it off and just give it that little extra something that it needs. Look how pretty that is. This is probably the actual side that I want. So first I'm gonna, this was 2 inches. Well, it's almost 2 inches. But I think I just want 3/4 of an inch. 3/4, 3/4. And then I can save this other piece for a card on Friday. Oops, we're not done. Because then I want to cut this at 2 inches. I have a 4-inch piece and a 2-inch piece, and then the same thing here. 2 inches. So I have a 4 and 2. All right, so I'm just going to layer that down. Right in there. And then this piece up here. And I just need to lift this up. Because I think I'm kind of, yeah. All right, I like that. And then embellishments, and we're done. All right, so let's see. I want Maybe a big one right here with a medium. I know you can't see it very well. As you move it around a little bit, you can see it. And I'll do another one. Maybe we'll do it over here so you can see it a little better. And then, so we've got that there. Feel like I want something up here. Maybe like right on the center. And you could do some little ones around. So that'll be kind of a triangle effect. I'm just looking at different, if I could do, might do something right up here. Let me see, I'm not sure about this. Let me see. Maybe I should do it right on it. And I'm just thinking this up here because this is kind of where your eye starts. There, here, there, there. That'll work. Okay. All right, I'm done. Thank you, Christine. Okay, I think that worked out well. So glad that I brought in that embossing up here. I just feel like it kind of closed it in. It needed that extra border, and just the white on white is pretty. All right, thanks for joining me today for Story and Sketch using our Color Crush combo of Timid Tiger, Berry Burst, Strawberry Slush, and Old Olive were our primary colors used today. And I'll have a sketch. I'm going to make a sketch of this design and put it in a PDF that I'll share through my newsletter. I probably have about 3 that I need to share from the past couple of weeks. It's just been crazy with graduation and summer starting. But now, something else you could bring in, I didn't use it so far this week, was some of the, well, I don't even know where it's at now. There it is. Wink of Stella. This would be a really fun item to incorporate because you could do the glass, you could do the citrus, you could add it over a few places, you could even splatter with it, but I'm didn't do it, so I'm not going to. All right, y'all take care. Thanks for joining me this Thursday for Story and Sketch, which should have been on Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow for Feel Good Friday, where I'll be making fun fold cards using what we have left from our Celebratory Sips Scrap and Create kit. So take care, everyone. God bless you. Have a great day.